Hello and welcome to Money, 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 your weekly personal finance date with me, Surabhi Upadhyay. It is that time of the year when we're looking and talking taxes. Yes, tax season is around the corner. But apart from all the changes that have happened with respect to how you will file your income tax, the link of Aadhaar and PAN, a lot of other interesting things have also come about. For instance, some clarity on what happens to the long-term capital gains tax liability in case of ESOPs or bonus shares. This was an issue that was raised during the budget this year. So now that we have the clarifications coming in from the authorities, we thought we'll get in the experts to explain and simplify all of this for us. Archit Gupta of Clear Tax joins me on the show, as does Harshvardhan Rungta. So Archit, let me come to you first. And what is the clear takeaway now after the latest statement from the Apex Court with respect to filing your income tax for this season?
Right. So we'll have to first go back to the history a little bit, like that the government came out with the amendment in the finance bill saying that whenever you are filing an income tax return, you have to quote the Aadhaar number you have or the application number of the Aadhaar that you have made on every tax return or the PAN application that is made. And they were looking to retrospectively cancel the PAN in terms of if the Aadhaar is not quoted. So the Supreme Court recently came out with the clarification as citizens really raised privacy concerns with the Aadhaar, and that has led to the Supreme Court coming out with a clear view that if you have an Aadhaar number, you must you must quote it after July 1 in your income tax return along with the PAN. So it basically links the Aadhaar to the PAN post July 1. If you're filing prior to July 1, there is no requirement to quote Aadhaar prior to July 1, because July 1 is where the provisions start to apply. If you have not applied for an Aadhaar, then you are not required to apply for an Aadhaar just for filing the income tax return, even post July 1. So basically, if you have an Aadhaar, you must quote it with the tax filing and link it to the PAN. If you don't have an Aadhaar, you don't need to go in and apply for Aadhaar just for filing. And it has referred the matter to the Supreme Court has referred the matter to the constitutional bench to come out with a view on income taxes and Aadhaar. But for now, it is clear that if you have a Aadhaar, you have to quote it. If you don't have one, you don't need to go apply for one.
Okay, Harsh, your understanding of this entire matter that's been going on and this concept of linking both the documents, the PAN card and Aadhaar. I don't know, have you done that yet? I know I haven't, but I think, when we're talking about the linking, then what are the things one needs to keep in mind?
So, well, Surabhi, if you see initially when the mandate had come that you had to link your Aadhaar and PAN number, you had to log in into your portal. On the income tax portal, you log in your account in the income tax portal, and then you had to go through the exercise of linking it together. Now, there was a glitch over there because there were several instances where the name as spelled in your PAN number was different vis-a-vis it was spelled in your Aadhaar. For instance, you had, say, Harshvardhan Rungta in your PAN card and Harshvardhan H. Rungta in my Aadhaar card. So that is the middle initial was there. So it was not possible that we could link it together. But over time, Income Tax Department has gone ahead, and you don't now need to log in into your account. There is a link at the homepage itself, wherein if there is slight mismatch, but if you give in your name and your date of birth and extra other details, the linking has become easier. Okay. So now that process having gone through, because there was a debate whether you would need to change the name in your Aadhaar card then. You'll have to apply for a modification and then you have to match it exactly the way it is on your PAN. So that was a time-consuming activity. Now that has been done away with.
So there is no need to go ahead and make changes in the information that are there in your Aadhaar card?
Absolutely. So you don't need to make sure that the name as spelled on your PAN card and that spelled on your Aadhaar card are the same. There could be slight mismatch, but that now the system is accepting it and they're linking it already. Okay. So the linkage of your cards have become easier now. So,
gentlemen, it's quite clear that small changes or discrepancies in the name on both of these documents, PAN card and Aadhaar, they don't have to be a fresh source of worry. But what about in cases where, let's say, the address is different because you got your PAN card many years ago, maybe you shifted, changed, and the current address is a different address, and the Aadhaar sort of might have a different address. So in that case, can you still link both these documents, or will one of them have to be updated with the current address? Archit, you want to take that?
In the income tax return when you're filing, so definitely the PAN card will record the permanent address or the address where you were resident at, and the Aadhaar document will reflect the address where you may have applied for Aadhaar from. So in the income tax return filing, at least you can specify your current address or your permanent address. So the government so far has not taken a view on the mismatch of address, as far as I know. As Mr. Rungta pointed out, like there was a lot of grief around the name mismatch, which was a constant cause of grief. In fact, like on the income tax return side, if your name as specified on the income tax return does not match your PAN number exactly to the last spelling, initial, etc., then the government does not let the e-filing go through. So haven't seen concerns being expressed on address so far, as per the reports which I have.
Okay, fair enough. On that note, we're going to take a very quick break, but there are a lot of other points that we have to cover. Recent changes that have come through, which may or may not impact the ESOPs that you have, the taxation that's going to be levied there. We'll talk about that on the other side.